Hi, and welcome to this episode of 24. Ask, the key to a better life. Today, we're going to talk about raising your IQ, because what's having a better life if we don't raise your IQ, right? Except we're not talking about intelligence quotient. And when it comes down to motivations, what we're really talking about is intentional questioning. Right? Motivations, this idea of asking motivational questions to change that inner conversation and the thoughts that we have in our head, to drive our focus and ultimately drive the actions that determine whether or not we get closer to or further away from our goals and dreams, starts with questions and asking the right questions. We're so used to reacting, right? We talked about how we normally just ask these questions and they come at us and we're reacting to what's going on, and when that's serving us, when life's going well, it's great. We're asking the right questions. We're getting closer to our goals and dreams. But when we're not, when we're getting further away from our goals and dreams, then we're asking questions that aren't serving us. Now, this idea of asking questions really is a muscle, right? We're using this muscle all the time. It's happening whether we think about it or not. And we need to change that muscle. And like any muscle, in order to change it, we've got to use it in a different way. So we came up with these AM and PM questions. It's a very simple way to start to change that muscle, to reprogram your mind, to change the way we think. The way it works is this. If you're like most people, or like I was, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that you do? You immediately start thinking of all the things that you've got to do that day, right? What am I going to wear? What am I going to have for breakfast? Are the kids eating breakfast? Do they have their lunch ready? What am I going to have for lunch? How am I getting to work? Who's picking up the kids? All of these questions, and then of course there's all the things that you have to do for your job. And they immediately start assaulting you and you start going through all the things you have to do and how little time you have to do it. And if you're like I was, you've already hit snooze 4 times, so you're late. And everything starts piling upon itself, and ultimately off you go. You're off to the races already before your day even gets started with these questions that are coming, and you're answering them, and they're not really helping you move towards your goal of living a better life. So the goal is to ask different questions. And AM and PM questions were set up so that the first thing you do, as soon as you wake up out of that dead sleep, is you change the questions that are popping into your mind. Instead of just allowing them to come in, you ask intentional questions, motivating questions, questions that are going to help you achieve your goals. And you start out pretty simple. You don't have to do anything complicated. Keep it very simple. So you might start out by saying, what am I excited about today? Or what am I happy about today? That question will change the way your brain thinks. Well, what am I happy about? What am I excited about today? And as you go about your day, brushing your teeth and putting your clothes on, you answer those questions in your mind, or out loud if you want to. And you start thinking about, well, what am I happy about in my life right now? Or what am I excited about today? And you start thinking about those questions. And here's the secret, I'll tell you right up front. Don't just think about the answers. Don't just come up with the answers. Think about how they make you feel. When you think, what am I excited about today? And you come up with answers to that, think about how that makes you feel. It makes you feel excited and happy. And you're already changing the way your day starts. And you keep doing this day after day, and you change up the questions. And after a while, once you're used to these generic sort of questions, you get a little more specific. What's something I can do today to move me forward in the direction of my dreams? Who's one person I can talk to today to get some help in going towards my dreams? So you ask a generic question, you ask a specific question, and you start moving yourself in that direction. PM questions are just the opposite. End of the day, last thing before you go to bed. You've done all the stuff you need to do, you've taken care of work, kids are in bed, you've got your PJs on, brushed your teeth, you are ready to turn out the light and hit the pillow. Right before you do that, you ask yourself a couple of questions. And again, start out pretty generic. Things like, what did I get accomplished today? Think about that, because normally if you're like me, before I did this, I would go to bed at night and I'd start thinking about all the stuff I didn't do, all the stuff that didn't get done that I don't have to deal with tomorrow. Well, guess what? It's still going to be there tomorrow. There's no point in spending the whole evening thinking about it. Might as well go to bed thinking about something good. What did I get accomplished today? And look, I get it. Sometimes the one thing you got accomplished was getting out of bed. And that's okay. List all of the things that you got accomplished. What was something that made me smile today? Think about all these different, and if you can't come up with these questions, we actually created a couple of card decks, an AM and a PM card deck. There's 52 cards, each with a different question. One of my favorite questions, you've heard me say this already. What makes my soul dance? Think about starting your day with that question. What makes my soul dance? And kicking off your day like that. So you can ask these questions and you need to write them down. Don't just think about them, because when you wake up in the morning, if you don't have something to jog your memory, all those other questions are going to pop in. And at night you're so tired, the last thing you want to do is think, what were those questions again? So write them down or use the QUIPS cards. And by the way, QUIPS stands for questions with intent and purpose, right? Because we're trying to ask intentional questions. So I'm going to challenge you. Do it for 4 weeks, 28 days. You can do anything for 28 days. First thing in the morning, last thing at night, 2 questions each day. See what happens in your life. I promise you it will change your life. Take this 28-day challenge, ask morning and evening questions. Use the QUIPS cards if you have to, or write down your own questions and change them up every couple of days. Do it for 28 days. I guarantee you it's going to change your life. And here's the best part. After you've done this for a little while and you're used to intentionally asking questions of your brain instead of letting it come up with its own based on what's going on around you, you start to be able to use these questions throughout the day and asking your own intentional questions to help you move forward as opposed to just reactive questions. It's what I call really improving your IQ. And we're going to jump into that on the next session of 24.